Tonight, we have the latest updates on a wildfire burning near Newman Lake. Details on evacuation orders and containment efforts coming up. And we spoke with someone who lost everything after police say their home burned down in a targeted arson. What we know tonight.
Red flag warnings are in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. I'm tracking the continuation of warm and dry conditions with potentially more wind Friday and Saturday.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We start with that wildfire burning near Newman Lake. Right now, evacuations have been dropped to level 1, get ready evacuations. The Washington Department of Natural Resources says forward progress has also been stopped. DNR also telling us crews are mopping up the fire right now. They say that fire is 100% dozer lined. Now, there is still an evacuation center at East Farms Elementary School. However, with those evacuations being dropped, we'll stay tuned for updates on that. At last check, that fire was about 2 acres in size. All right, as we continue to track the fire, KREM 2's Regan Gallo joining us from the scene tonight. So Regan, what's the latest?
Well, during a weather impact alert day where we are seeing those red flag warnings, a quick response is always so important. And that's what DNR officials tell me exactly what happened today here out on Newman Lake. Now, I'm just right next to the McKenzie Conservation Area where this fire unfolded. Now, the smoke, very little compared to a couple of hours ago when I first arrived here. And in the last half hour or so, several county, valley, and state patrol cars, even fire engines have moved out of the area. DNR officials tell me they have stopped that forward progression on the fire. They say it is 100% dozer lined, and they have released all aircraft but one helicopter. Now, in the height of this fire, a couple hours ago, I saw 2 planes and at least 2 helicopters responding, scooping water from Newman Lake. Now, DNR says the fire was about 3 acres in size. Now, I spoke to one local who's lived in this area for about 25 years. He says fire season is always a concern every year in this area and is thankful for a quick response.
We worry about it every year. This is probably the 5th fire we've had out here in about 5 years that's close to my house. So between fireworks and people throwing cigarettes out or whatever it is.
Just a couple of the fire crews that responded to this fire is Newman Lake Fire and Rescue, Kootenai County Fire District 13, Spokane Valley, Hauser Lake, as well as DNR officials. Those hand crews are still mopping up and there's still some engines on scene. And again, it's because of that cooperative effort and that quick response that helped die down this fire very quickly this afternoon. For now, I'm reporting in Spokane County. Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
All right, Regan, thank you very much. Anytime we're talking wildfires, the weather is hugely important, so let's get right outside. The meteorologist Michelle Boss in the Outdoor Weather Center. Michelle, we're still under that KREM 2 weather impact alert because that red flag warning, that remains in place for several more hours.
Right, that goes in, or continues in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. It's warm, it's dry, and it's breezy out here, and those conditions will continue through the evening. We're looking at gusts up to 35 miles per hour region-wide. In Spokane, we've seen peak wind gusts so far today of about 30 miles per hour, so pretty breezy out here, and temperatures are certainly warm, not as warm as yesterday, but still pretty toasty. 85 in Spokane, 86 in Coeur d'Alene. We've got upper 80s in Deer Park, some 90s down in Lewiston, and 90s in Othello, and then near 90 degrees in Grand Coulee and Moses Lake, lower 90s up in Omak. And here's what type of winds we're looking at. Winds out of the southwest to west at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, but we have seen some of those higher gusts, currently between 25 and 30 miles an hour in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, about 20 to 25 out in Moses Lake. So that red flag warning does encompass most of eastern Washington. Again, until 10 o'clock tonight. It's probably still going to be a little bit on the breezy side tomorrow, and then winds picking back up again Friday into Saturday. So we may have additional fire weather watches or red flag warnings to contend with this weekend. But otherwise, quiet weather conditions as far as a cloud cover or rain. It's dry out there. Clear skies expected this evening and overnight, and we'll see plenty of sunshine tomorrow, mid-80s. Thursday, 86 on Friday, and upper 80s on Saturday, and turning breezy again.
All right, sounds good, Michelle. We'll check back in with you later in the show tonight. A month after a house fire forced a Spokane family to escape through a window, police say they've arrested the man accused of intentionally starting it. Tonight, the mother who saved her young daughter is sharing her story for the first time. KREM 2's Christian Garza reports
It's a morning Jordan Mayo says she replays over and over again, waking up to smoke, grabbing her daughter, and scrambling out a window as flames consumed her house. Today, she shares the moments that she says saved their lives.
I am filled with a rage that is just like all-consuming.
Feelings of anger and confusion. That's all that's left after Jordan Mayo's house caught fire last month, forcing her and her daughter to escape through a basement window.
It was just a whirlwind after that, really like chaos. I didn't really have any time to react anyway. You know, it was just like next thing, next thing, next thing.
A disaster she believed was a fluke.
I was thinking like it was an accident, a cigarette, or it's just something.
Until she watched the surveillance video.
They wanted me to pull up the cameras and I do, and I'm just like, there's no way. Like I see his face on there and it's like, there's no way.
Mayo says caught on camera near her house that morning is the father of her daughter, Romello Abram, a man who she has a protection order against. The Spokane Police Department sent out a release saying that Abram has been arrested following an investigation into the fire. Right now, he's facing multiple charges, including first-degree arson.
I'm just dumbfounded, really. Like Riley's there. You know we're asleep inside. And just it's sickening too because you get to see the smoke coming from her window. It's literally got to be like 10 feet, like 15 feet, like from where the fire, like to her window. And it's just like, I just am blessed and highly favored because,
But that morning, the fire wasn't just contained to Mayo's house.
I looked out the bathroom window and I could see this area here just really bright orange, and you could feel the heat coming through.
It quickly jumped the chain link fence to Dylan Beecher's house, which is something he's been trying to overcome mentally since it happened.
You don't really have a chance to be afraid, you know. That later on, as your brain processes what you've been through, I still kind of like, as I'm maybe at night, I can still see that orange glow. I can hear that crackling and popping.
The suspected arsonist was set to make his first appearance tonight, but he refused to come out of his cell. He's expected to come before a judge tomorrow. In Spokane, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
coming up, a controversial Spokane Valley Council member not backing down. Tonight, Al Merkel speaking out about a recent court decision against him. That story in 2 minutes.